Hmm. Well, here we are, people. It's Reverend Chris Oldham, and I am here once again with the second edition of the Chrysalis Ascension blog or online magazine, whatever you want to call it, that is basically a chronicle of what I am experiencing and being shown and the messages I'm being given to bring forward to you during the previous week. And that's what this is all about, is so that you can receive this. So we are here for this session. It's traditionally called Hump Day, the Chrysalis Ascension Journal, maybe we need to call it. I haven't quite settled down on that, but it is part of the larger picture of Divine Interventions Ministries. And so today's subject, every week we have like a main focus, but there's a lot of stuff that comes in with that main focus, and the angels always have other stuff that comes in alongside of it. So today's main focus is going to be about mind control, how we are being controlled, recognizing what that is and how to break free of it. But the flip side of that is basically what this is tearing down the veil, waking up, being able to see what's really going on around you, having your sight restored. And that is really the key, the core issue. And that runs through a lot of the things I do, because there are a couple of things that I'm here to do, but the main thing that I'm here to do is to expose truth. And it's not just to show you truth. I'm not the arbiter of truth, okay? My job is to help you to see the truth from your inner soul perspective, to open you up to that, so that you can see the truth around you as it is represented there, and you can also recognize and work from your own inner truth, from your divine self, from your soul self, that beautiful jewel that is you, that we talked about last week. Okay, we just lost Chris, but that's okay. She'll come back. All right. So that is the main theme for today's video and session. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that we are all programmed, and we have been programmed from birth. And I saw a video this morning where they were basically talking about that. And for the life of me, I can't remember who it was. It was somebody I follow once in a while. And I'll try and remember to put it in the description underneath the video when I get it on YouTube. But they were talking about how we are programmed. Welcome back. So they were talking about how Madison Avenue and advertisement and marketing has programmed us to just respond to certain stimuli. We see something in an advertisement on TV, and we've been programmed to want it, right? Like kids, if you ever have kids, or you've been around kids, they've been watching commercials, and they want everything. Now, and that's part of the conditioning. There's a stimulus and your response. The response is, oh, I want that. So you go out and you buy it. That is marketing. That's advertising. But that isn't only used on Wall Street and for business. You know, it is used everywhere that someone wants to gain influence over your thoughts. And if you critically, objectively, or watch a commercial and you tune out everything else that's going on there, and you critically and subjectively watch it, you can see and point out the parts of that commercial that are focused on getting you to identify with whatever it is they're selling. So what is this? How do we know when we're being controlled? How do we know when people and things are trying to control us? All right. Look in the news media any day. What is the message? What is it doing? What is its focus? What is its purpose? Watch that critically. Forget about what the words in the message actually really say, but look at the energy that's coming toward you and what's involved in it. The key to control, to getting any kind of control of us, voluntary control, all right? We're putting it that way. It's voluntary. We don't know necessarily that we're being controlled. And so we are just voluntarily going along. We're being herded, literally, in the biggest sense of the word. We're being herded mentally. But what is the key there? What is the key component? It's your emotions. It is your emotions. Anything that is tugging on your emotions, eliciting in you an emotional response, is trying to control you through those emotions and how you will respond to those emotions and what you see and what you will create as a result and what direction your opinions and your thoughts and your actions will go. That is how we are controlled. Start looking at that and listening to it and feeling it and understanding that. See how much fear is embedded in advertisements if you're watching TV, or even any of the stuff that you're going to see on social media. How much fear is embedded in that? If you watch, and you can tell who the advertisement is geared toward based on what the item is and what emotion is being preyed upon, okay? There are so many channels on TV now, it's ridiculous. But at the same time, when you go into specific ones, have a target audience. Some of them have a target audience of seniors. And what will most of those commercials be about? They will be about things like life insurance and medications. Over and over and over again. All kinds of different medications telling you that you're going to be sick and this is the solution. They're not saying to you, well, you might get this, you might not. They're just pointing it out like as if you're actually going to have this and you better be prepared to ask for this medication or go buy this at the store. And it's based on fear. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to be sick. It's programming your matrix, imprinting the patterns of illness in your matrix, right? So you are definitely going to get sick because you're buying into this fear of illness that's coming along with it. The same with the insurance. Oh my God, I'm going to die and my kids are going to have to pay for stuff. Oh my God, I need to do this, blah, 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 blah. Fear is the emotion. So you're being herded with your fear to respond by buying the insurance. Then there are other commercials, like for alcoholic beverages, right? The Corona Lime commercials. They're geared toward a younger crowd, and they're all about fun and being together and being, what is the big key? Accepted. Being accepted. You have to have and drink Corona in order to be accepted in your crowd as part of the in crowd. That's the emotional hook that's going on there. So, and this is just advertisements. Now let's look at where this plays out with national and global events. We talk all the time about we have the cabal and the dark forces, and we have the light forces, and there is a literal war going on in what we call the second heaven, where all this is being worked out, you know? But how is that playing out down here at the physical level? How are we being herded and controlled? Because the forces of light don't really want us to be controlled. That is all about freedom and free will and freedom of mind and expression and expansion, and experiencing things that we choose to experience consciously, not subconscious reactions to things, for us to choose our responses to things. That's what we are meant to do, to work from that place of Christed consciousness, which is a place of love, and not from a place of reactive fear. But if you look at the news media and news articles that you'll see online, I'm sorry, even if you don't watch TV, you don't get away from it. If you're online, if you're on social media, you're still exposed to it. They've made sure you're exposed to it in one way or the other. Even if you don't read the stories, you skim by, you see the images that are there. The stuff is imprinting on your mind. We can absorb so much faster than our conscious minds can process. That the stuff is just being thrown into us. And not only that, we're also being assaulted by the energies of these things that are being transmitted from them. The negative energies, the programming energies. We'll get a little bit more into that in a little bit. But the prevailing emotional thing, right? They either use fear for you to get attached to the issue, to get out or to get outraged about it, or they use, what is supposed to be love or heart energy to get you attached to something, an issue. Perfect example of that is the kids in cages at the border. Those kids were in cages years and years and years and years ago, and nobody said squat about it. But now, the portion of the populace who went totally up into arms about that was conditioned to respond in that way to a certain stimulus. That stimulus was provided, and the emotional hook was in, and they were reeled in hook, line, and sinker. So once that emotional hit comes in from your first response, you know what else happens? It doesn't matter what they see after that, they're only going to believe what they first saw and got hooked into. That's where it's so important to start being really aware of what we're responding to and what choices we're making mentally and emotionally. Are we having an emotional attached to something, and are we reacting from an emotional space? Or are we looking at this subjectively, setting our emotions aside from it, and saying, is this something that I need to be concerned about? Is this truth? You dig into, that's where you take some time, and you don't just take at face value whatever you're shown first. You do some digging before you've made an opinion or attached to any response or to any part of the message. You do your own digging and research. And these days, you really need to do that, because if you don't, you're being sucked into a vortex of lies and half-truths whose only purpose to get you emotionally hooked so that you are controlled. So how else are we controlled? We are controlled not just emotionally, but one of the most insidious forms of control that is also used with the news media, but has really come to light recently with Dr. I think it was Richard Epstein's, his appearance before Congress to speak about election fraud and manipulation, and what he told us, and what since then has come out from whistleblowers, is that Google has been manipulating what you see in their search engine when you go looking for something, so that your information base and foundation is limited to be in agreement with what they want you to see. So if they want you to see something and they want you to be in agreement with it, they're going to show you all positive search results for that thing. So anything you go to is going to be positively slanted. And the thing that they don't want you to see, if they even give you any results, are going to be the majority of them with a negative focus, whether that is the majority of the things that are out there for that issue or person or thing or not. They are slanting our access to information that allows us to make qualified and informed decisions. That is insidious. So we need to be really aware that that's out there too. The news media do the same thing. They bring in half-truths, or they take and edit videos to the point where you really can't tell whether it's real or not, but you accept that it's real because they're showing it to you. There's some pretty famous examples of edited videos that people have taken as gospel without seeing the full real video and understanding how thoroughly they were duped. One of them has to do with Obama giving a speech at the, it's the yearly thing of the bigwigs. Darn, my mind is just sort of taking a blank here this afternoon. But giving a speech where he supposedly said that people don't have the sense to make their own decisions, and that the government has to make decisions for us. That isn't really what he was saying. If you listen to the whole segment that was taken out of and pieced together from, that wasn't what he was saying at all. All right. At the same time is the famous or infamous video of Trump supposedly making fun of a crippled reporter. Well, that wasn't the case at all, but you wouldn't know that unless you saw the whole piece that was taken from, or the same thing with the Charlottesville thing that they accuse him of being a Nazi on. If you look at the whole thing and take it in context, that's not what he said at all. So we are being guided and misled in these ways by the news media and other sources and forces to support their agenda and herd you into their way of thinking. And when you take all of these ways of controlling us, all right, and this isn't even all of them, we're getting to a couple more now in a minute or two. You take these ways of controlling us, one of the main things that they accomplish over time is that we get into a zone of resonance with that information and that energy. A perfect example of that kind of thing is music. So I grew up in the 60s and 70s, and the 70s is like my music. All right. And so I can listen to all different stuff, but there are some things that I am just like, nope, I just can't even do it. It just grates on me, not because it's bad, and I know you all have the same experiences, is that not that the music is bad, but that it is not in harmony with our own resonance, our own musical resonance. It's all part of what we've taken on as our identity and our code and our way of being, that's all packaged up into that same energy. That's another way that control is elicited upon us, or that we fall into the place where we fail to be able to see that we're being controlled because we're responding and staying within that resonance zone because we're programmed to do so. We've been programmed vibrationally and energetically to be in that zone and not come out of that zone. Kind of like if you have been housebound for a while, you get to a point where when you leave the house and the energies that you're used to and everything, and go out into the world, into public, wherever you're going and doing, that is very uncomfortable. And it's not a mental thing, it's a vibrational thing, because your vibrational patterns and resonance zone is not a match for that. So having said all of that, there are also a couple of more ways that we're being controlled. When we are watching videos from any source, doesn't matter whether it's internet, watching TV, or when we're listening to music, hearing podcasts, when we're engaging in those activities, especially in social media is the worst. You have YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook that are the worst culprits for this, but it exists in other social media sites as well. We are bombarded and infected with programming. A lot of it is digital programming. Some of it's AI, depending on the site that you're coming from. A lot of it also coming to us is of entity origin and programming us and aligning us with, things that we're, the dark, we don't really want to be aligned with. Density, toxic stuff is being entered into our fields. We don't even know that that's there. We may sense that there is something about what we're watching or listening to that's off, maybe, but we don't really realize it because it's just part of what we're listening to. So because we're actively listening to it, we're accepting this stuff. We haven't said, no, I don't want any of that stuff. I just want to stay up here. I don't want to subjectively or objectively rather, listen to what's going on without being bathed in all of this other nonsense. So some people that are listening to this at whatever point they're listening to it are saying, well, yeah, no, I'm not infected by that because I know that. Well, we're going to find out here in a few minutes. There are a lot of things that we are infected by and affected by that are hiding the truth from us, keeping us from seeing divine truth, our own truth, and keeping us from being effectively moving forward on our paths and in our missions, especially those of us who are here to uphold the light. We need to be really aligned with that and knowing that we are clear of deceit. I've spent the day today clearing out a bunch of deep pockets of stuff that we're hiding within. And as this, again, I'll talk about the vibrational frequencies are just squeezing us. You know, they're becoming purer and purer. So they're squeezing us in. And as that happens, there's more and more of this stuff that remained hidden because we were functioning at or at least we were operating at a functional level that we were okay with. But as this comes and squeezes us into these purer frequencies and a lower frequency range, I don't want to say lower, how about we say a narrower frequency range, that becomes less possible. We become less comfortable because these things are showing up. We're saying, wait a minute, you know, where's my connection? How come I feel this way? Why is this fear coming in? What is the source of this? I don't believe this is mine. And you have to go looking and digging to find out what's really going on. So we really need, in our search for truth, to first look within. That's the place where everything has to come from. We're looking for truth outside of us without first coming into alignment with truth and restoring our access to truth within us. Then we can search out there till the cows come home. We won't know truth because we can't recognize it because we aren't aligned with our own truth. We are not sitting and working from a resonance zone of truth. Okay? All right, so right now, I'm going to, the angels are like chomping at the bit here right now, but I'm not going to do a full temple because I don't want to take the time to do that. But we're going to do right now is we're going to ask the same thing that I did last week, is I'm going to ask Archangel Michael and his blue lighting angels to create a dome of protection and light around this circle and everyone in it now or whoever will be, whose places are being held by their guardian teams and higher selves. To place this dome of divine protection around us, Almighty and Most High Father, Mother God, I welcome your presence here with us and thank you. And I ask you to bless this space now protected by Michael and his angels in love and light unto our use and into our service in your name. So be it, so it is. Thank you. Now, beloved Archangel Michael, please perform the purification and protection protocols for each one of us here, whenever we are here in this circle, as we move into the healing phase of this call. And in all of our names, I revoke permission for any of these things to exist in our domains, and I give them no authority to do so. I revoke their authority in perpetuity throughout eternity, and so it is, as I invoke my authority over them. Get out, be gone, in totality, and so it is. Thank you, Michael. Remove anything else that needs to be cleared in order for this space to be aligned with the work we're here to do now. Remove all discarnate spirits, all entity connections, cauterize, cut and cauterize all connections to the collective unconscious. Thank you, and shield us from them, please. And the collective conscious. Thank you. Okay. I intend that this dome of protection and all that has been done here shall be maintained and sustained now and for the remainder of this video session. So be it, so it is. Thank you. All right, so the angels are coming in now. And who wants to be up first?
I can if you want.
What, Susan?
I said I can be first if you want.
Oh, no, no, no. I'm talking about angels.
Oh, okay. I am an angel.
Which angel
Well,
is coming into the circle first to do their thing?
now my secret's out.
Yes, you are an angel. Okay. All right. Who's coming in first? The angel Jamera. Okay. Because Jamera right now is coming in to first show you all of the mental control that's insinuated into your energy fields, into your mind, into the entirety of your body, wherever it is meant to be. So she's right now going to illuminate that for you. And this is not divine control, right? This is control by things outside of you and your own conscious and subconscious choices, or conscious choices anyway. Things stimulated by external forces and sources. So, and maintained by them. So, beloved Jamera right now is going to show everyone where these controls exist and how deep they go. And if you think that you've been using your own mind, you can think again. And this is controlled by forces and sources that aren't necessarily in service to your highest good. Now, if you wish to be freed and released from these, for her to unmanifest all of this and everything that's sponsoring it in your being, all you need to do now is say yes, and Jamera will do that. She will unmanifest all of that for you. And so will Sandalphon, who is the angel of divine power. And Metatron, who's the angel of thought. They're working on 3 different areas: on manifesting, on creating and deleting and dismantling ego programs that are supporting this. Everything that's been created by these controlling elements. In perpetuity, at all times, past, present, future, on your timeline, at all levels, dimensions, and planes of existence and causation. Beloved Jamera, please show everyone now where they have been infected and embedded by digital or AI elements and programs. And there are a number of you who are getting lit up like crazy on this. As you all you have to do is say the word yes, and Jamera will take and release and remove this from you in totality. Now. And Michael, please remove all entities that are promoting this or sponsoring it in any way from wherever they are into the vortex of divine source. Yeah, you're going to feel, when those of you who are affected by this will feel as it is coming undone and freed, you may have kind of had a sort of a prickly electrical response, and that's what this is about. So these digital encodings, and AI encodings and elements, and programs, processes, everything of an AI nature or digital nature, we're removing that from you now. Including all perpetuation devices, engines, and processes that would invite it back in or see it reinstalled. So be it and so it is. In the name of the one true God, so let it be. Thank you, dear ones. All right, so let's restore then. Beloved angel Amitiel, who is the angel of truth, is coming in now. And she is going to realign us with truth, realign us with the ability to see and know and sense truth and not truth, so that we are reset basically as we are meant to be before all of this control and programming was installed. So she's going to do that now. So just sit back. If you are willing to receive this clearing and reset, just say yes, and it will be yours. And even for those of us who have been working really hard and think that we're seeing truth all the time, there are areas in which truth still remains hidden. So those are being opened up as well. At all levels, dimensions, and planes of existence and causation, on material, past, present, future, on our timeline. It's from our physical and light bodies, our DNA and cell memory, our soul matrices, and our timeline programming. Cleanse everything, please. Including our body diva, body wisdom, and ego divas. Clear from us and attune us to truth in all areas of our beings, including our chakra divas. And let's move the corruption from our chakra divas, from our DNA and cell memory, if it be there. From our templates and blueprints and programming. Let's clear this corruption and restore truth. Encodings and programs that sponsor and are reflective of our truth, divine truth, assist in divine discernments. At all levels, dimensions, and planes of existence and causation, past, present, future, on our timelines, including our timeline programming, DNA and cell memory and soul matrix. And so it is. And clear on Michelle all the debris of this from us, everything that was in support of the corrupted state of being. Supporting the veil. Throughout the entirety of our beings and soul spheres, including all programming, and remove from us all psychic connections and attachments from all entities and other sources that are bringing this corruption to us. Clear us of all that is resonant with that. Beloved Angel Galileo, please come now and repattern us, our resonance, to be aligned with truth and all that Angelic is doing to support our ability to see, receive, and perceive truth. To see through the veil and behind it, to take it away. And we need to bring our ego minds into alignment with this process because our ego needs to see truth too. So let's do Metatron and Amityville, what is necessary for our egos to see and be in support of truth, and even to reject their previous programming when it is clearly supporting false premises. So be it, and so it is. All right, there's something else hanging in here. Please clear from us, Michael, any entities that are supporting the state of deceit and control. I revoke permission for them to exist here in our domains. I revoke my authority over you. Get out. You have no authority here. And remove from these people everything that is giving you authority. You do not have it, ever. And these divine humans, we are going to restore to them their divine power and presence. Yes. Beloved Zadkiel, please come now and restore everyone here now and whoever will be to their true and pure connection to divine source, clearing absolutely everything that stands in the way of that, now and at any point in the future, past or present. So be it, so it is. In totality, throughout every aspect of our being, Zadkiel. And clear from us everything supporting those blocks and hindrances, or creating them, or desiring them. Disconnect us from those sources. And so it is. Thank you. Hey, Marcia, glad to see you. I'm going to meet you. You can just ask the angels to catch you up, and they will take care of doing that for you. All right, what else is on the docket here right now, angels? All right. So yes, beloved Jesus, come in now. Yeah, I know you were already here. Please align us with the truth and the rending of the veil that is part of the being immersed in the Christed consciousness. Help us to be fully aware when we're being played, lied to, deceived, when things don't ring true, whether it's at a personal level or global level. Help us to know when there's something rotten in Denmark. And for those of you who may not be familiar, that's a Shakespeare quote from a play. I believe it's Hamlet, where he's talking about things that aren't right and kind of smell because they don't seem right, because he can tell there's something there being shined on. So he says that there's something rotten in Denmark. So anyway, beloved Jesus, please align us with the Christed consciousness discernment of truth and the ability to see through the veil, to part the veil and say, no, this isn't, not what you're saying does not compute. Or what I'm seeing does not compute, and I know this can't be the whole story. And clear away from us anything that's in opposition to that, anything that remains of old habits and the old resonance channel that would be in opposition to that, or set up contrast. And anything else you came here to do today, beloved one? Okay. So one of the things that helps us to recognize truth or to recognize deceit is when one of the things that tells the tale is love. So if what we are seeing does not resonate with divine love, that is the energy we want to feel coming from something. When somebody says something that you know is truth, there is an energy to that. And that is the energy of divine love. Divine love is truth, or provides truth, or supports truth, or exposes truth. So that is what Jesus is here now to do, is to bring you into alignment with that energy of love that deceit cannot get past, cannot penetrate, so that you can tell immediately that it's just not right. Thank you. All right, truth team, are we clear here now? All right, so Michael and beloved angel Shoshone, please clear everybody's energy fields of the debris of what we have done now. Clear away everything that remains that is of the old resonances and hurting and deceit and all of those things. Control, let's clear it all. Metatron, please release these things from our ego matrices. Stamera, help us to do so. In totality. And Raziel, please clear our Akashic records of all of this debris. Stamera, help us to release all of this fully and completely. Michael, remove all entity attachments from this, the Akashic, all these Akashic records, and from each of us at all times, past, present, and future. and take them into the vortex of divine source. So be it, so it is. Okay. So now the last thing that we're going to do, I want to talk about a little bit because it was something that came to me today that I've been playing with. And we're and as you know, Susan, I work with the alchemy, and I'm always looking for new ways and new things and how I can play in the matrix to create things that bring value to myself and others. So today, as I was moving through some things that were hiding truth from me, not only hiding truth, but making it not just hiding truth, but getting in the way of me perceiving truth. All right. Blocking my connection or getting in the way of my energy fields and creating distraction and all of that. And so I sat there with Angel, Angel of Truth. And what we created together was a truth bubble. And the truth bubble basically keeps from us from coming into our energy fields, energetically keeps from us, all right? Protects us from or shields us from anything coming to us that is not carrying a resonance of truth. So that these things cannot enter into our energy fields. And it goes both ways. So it's a two-way bubble. So anything coming from us that doesn't resonate with truth cannot get out. So I've been playing with this today. And it's kind of cool. But just like anything that you work with the angels, it has two sides to it, all right? You may be keeping everything out that's not of truth and interfering with truth and doesn't resonate with truth, but you're also then being made extremely aware of the things within you that aren't resonating with truth that you're creating and producing. Because that toxic energy and frequencies and vibration is not allowed out. It stays within. So it takes a little bit to recognize that that's what's going on and ask to be cleared of it and to be cleared of whatever is fostering it. So there's more to this truth bubble than that. That's a fairly simplistic thing. But one of the cool things about it that and you can use it as a tool, right? You can use it as a growth tool. Is one of the things that I noticed, all right? The social media sites are just always putting out such horrible energies and vibrations and entities and toxic garbage. And even when I shield myself and protect myself from it, all I have to do is get emotionally attached to anything going on there, and boom, the shield's gone. I'm done. So what I noticed after installing this bubble of truth was that when I went to sites like Twitter or Facebook or went on YouTube, that I was feeling some gnarly energies, toxic, but when I switched off from that and sat with it, I realized that I wasn't feeling what was coming from that. What I was feeling was what I was creating in response to what I was reading. So my emotional response was not passing through that boundary. But it was collecting inside my own sphere where I couldn't help but notice it. And then I cleared it and cleared the things that were creating it. So it was used, I've been using it as a growth tool, an awareness tool, so that I understand what the heck I'm putting out there that is negative or fearful, right? When we say something does not resonate with truth, well, what are those things, right? Fear-based stuff, negative stuff, anything that's not love, the highest vibrations, divine love and light. Anything lower than that tends to have a fear element and have an element of not truth to it. So those are the things that I'm using this to be shown and to work with. Now, I'm here for any of you that are willing to accept it. I will install one of these around you now. Now, the one I have is permanent. I have put mine in place permanently, but I'm only going to put yours in place for 24 hours so that you can play with it and decide if you want to have it as a permanent structure and function as you move through your own ascension to help you learn the stuff that you're putting out, the stuff that's still in there that is not of the highest vibration, right? Because when we surround ourselves with our own nastiness, boy, we want to get rid of that quick. So right now, and I don't need to know who it is, if any of you would like me to do this for you, all you have to do is say yes. I don't have to hear it. Or if you want to, you can put yes in the chat box so that I know that you're willing to receive this. And it will only be for 24 hours. It's not horrible, but it's it can be a really helpful tool. For me, I'm kind of pleased with the results, but you decide whether you want to have this or not. All right. So I'm going to give you a couple seconds to decide if this is something that you would like. And then I'm going to call the angel Michelle in, and we're going to install this around you. And do any of you have any questions about this beforehand? Let me just take yourselves off mute if you have a question about it before I go into this. Okay. All righty then. So I'm going to call in the angel Michelle. And I ask you, beloved ones, for all those who have agreed to receive this, that are here now or whoever will be in this circle, I ask you now to install the bubble of truth around each of these people as it was created by you and me to be done. To be maintained and sustained for only 24 hours on each of their timelines and not to be permanent at this time, unless they should decide so later. And so it is. Thank you, Michelle. All right, just take a few deep breaths to accept this and anchor this into your energy fields. Beloved Charmian, please come now to everybody and restore harmony to all of their systems, integrating what has been done today and supporting it in totality at all levels, dimensions, and planes of existence and causality throughout their timelines and soul spheres. So be it and so it is. And beloved Shekinah, please come now and restore each of us in this circle, all of our systems, unify them, bring us into divine unity and fully unified with our soul mission, tasks, and purposes, and all the work that has been done here today to support it fully, and releasing from us all that remains in discord to this. So be it and so it is. Thank you. Ariel, please come now and ground our energies through our Earth Star chakras and open us to divine flow from divine source to Gaia's heart. And I intend that each one of us is receiving divine replenishment now. And everything that has been done, all new pathways and programs and encodings, everything that is done today is being eliminated throughout the entirety of our systems so that our systems are fully informed and on board and aligned and attuned to support these things. So be it and so it is. Thank you. Thank you, Ariel. And beloved Aniel, I'm feeling like I'm being called on you now. Okay. I ask you now, Aniel, to once more bring all of us into our yin and yang into balance, please. And remove from us everything in opposition to this, as much as it serves our highest good to do so. Michael, if there are any entity or other attachments to us that are preventing this balance, please remove them now. And take all entities into the vortex of divine source for soul recycling in the great central sun, so it is. All right, beloveds, are we done here? All right, Michael, please once more clear the debris of healing from everybody's energy fields, light bodies, physical bodies, for all levels, dimensions, and planes of existence and causation, in past, present, and future on our timeline. All right, team, I open the floor up to you guys now to see if there's anything else that needs to be done and for you to go ahead and do it for us now. And it's calling to be done. We're clear? All right, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and unmute everybody and open up the floor to any comments you might have. Susan, you need to unmute you because it won't let me unmute you. Take a few deep breaths, come back into the present, take stock of where you are and what you experienced, and I'd love to hear from you. Marcia, I know you came in late, but there's a lot here. You probably ought to go back and listen to the beginning so you have a better understanding of what it was you just experienced.
Okay.
Yeah. How do you feel?
Well, I was actually pretty sick when I finally remembered it was the day to come to this. And I think I'm feeling about 60% better and kind of like a little bit confused.
But that's
but
okay.
I know that it was very beneficial.
Awesome.
Oh,
glad you joined us even if you weren't feeling that good, Marcia.
you would.
All right, Chris, I know you've got company there. Anything that you want
I
to?
do. Not at this point.
We're all kind of wonked out.
I think I'm just processing.
Yeah, well, I understand. That's the way it goes. Yes, totally. Susan, what about you?
I just feel an overall warmth and expansion and a calmness. Your work's always good.
Yep, yep. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, you're likely, the walked out kind of feeling, that's one normally happens when we do meditations and healing kind of stuff to a degree, but this time it may be a little bit more because of the nature of the work that we did. All right, we were releasing you from all of that mental control and all of that stuff that was embedded in your energy fields and connected to your mind. So there's a lot of rearranging going on and circuits being reassigned and all that. So until that all gets put in place, you may be a little bit out of it. So it's good that we do this in the evening so that you don't have that long before you can chill out and go to bed and sleep on it.
Yeah.
So, all righty. Right, what I'm going to do now for everybody that is listening to this, has participated in this, is I'm going to just assign to you, this is my essence is called Divine Truth, my angel song essence. And so I'm just going to use this on, again, I have my little Ziploc baggie where I have written Hump Day participants. And this is connected to all of your energies, those here now and those whoever will be. It is attached to this video. And so I'm just going to put a couple of drops of the Divine Truth essence there to help you move further into alignment with truth and to help you integrate everything that's happened here today a little bit better. Well, sweetie. Okay, peeps. I think that's everything we have going on here today. And thank you so much for joining me. It's always nice to do this with more than one person. With just more than just me.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. And I will talk to you hopefully next week. And the video will get posted as soon as I can get it up. I don't know if that's going to be tonight or tomorrow morning sometime, but it will be up and I will let everybody know where it is. So if you want to, you can listen again. Thank you very much. Love you all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.